I'm Sandi Toksvig, and this is What the Dickens, a show for all those cultured people who can look at an amply proportioned nude by Rubens without saying, oh, don't fancy yours much. Joining Chris Addison is a comedian whose TV show Genius invites members of the public to send in their best money-making ideas, and the most lucrative so far has been to set up a TV show where the public send him money-making ideas. Please welcome Dave Gorman. And with Sue Perkins is a comedian whose regular book club invites the audience to bring along second-hand books which he then reads from and criticises. Usually a bit grubby, but in reasonably good condition. He's been a stand-up for over 10 years. Please welcome Robin Ince. Our first round is 3 steps to heaven. We show our teams 3 images in turn, each offering a clue to a famous film, book, play or musical. 3 points are awarded if they guess the answer from the, frankly, desperately difficult first image, reducing to just 1 for the insultingly simple third picture.
She looked at me.
Yeah.
She looked at me.
But you are insultingly simple.
I am insultingly simple.
Speakers are fine. Speakers are fine. Chris and Dave, get us started here. Here is your first picture clue. Former President of the United States, pictured with one of his policy advisors, I think.
No, because owls are notoriously wise.
Now, there is that. There is that.
I like that he's got his name on his jacket and his job on the other side of his jacket so he doesn't forget.
Any ideas? What
the
can
owl
I
and the
tell you?
pussycat?
You need to focus on the bird in the picture. The bird is the important bit in the photograph.
Is it Harry Potter?
No. Let's take a look at the next picture. Now, what do we have here, Chris and Dave?
Is that having some surgery, sort of like hair removal, maybe?
It's somebody undergoing cosmetic surgery. I like the fact that she's decided to wear lipstick during the procedure. Yes. I think that's...
and eyewear. The eyewear's great.
The
monocle.
It's rather...
What is she... Do you know exactly what she's having done here?
It's plastic surgery. That's all your cosmetic surgery.
I'm guessing that's laser, because the eyes are covered.
I don't think it's... The specific operation, I think, is not... Well, let's have a look at the 2 photos together.
Okay, so
we've got the bird, the void.
Bird or owl, yes.
And the surgery, I have to tell you, is used in this work that we're looking for. It's used for criminal purposes. So you know those films where people go, ah, and they take the face off.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that and just have exactly the same face underneath. Ha-ha! I just like doing
that. It would scare everybody, I tell you. There's no question about it. Do we need a third photo? From the model of the motorbike there, I'd say that is one of Los Angeles' finest.
That is, yes.
Oh, is it Face Off?
Face Off? No, is that a film? Or is that something from sport?
Yeah, it's called Face Off.
Is that Travolta and...
Travolta. Cage.
No.
Woo.
No.
Face off.
What they did, because they swapped faces, but what they cleverly did, they didn't actually put Nicolas Cage's face on John Travolta. They had Nicolas Cage playing John Travolta in the Nicolas Cage face, and vice versa.
Wow.
That's inside knowledge for you there on how Hollywood works.
Let's have a look at the 3 pictures together. We've got the bird, which is what?
An owl.
An owl. We've got cosmetic surgery, and we have got an LA policeman.
LA Confidential?
The answer is LA Confidential. Oh, absolutely right. Well done.
Well done, indeed.
The answer is LA Confidential. The clues were as follows. An owl, which represents the Night Owl, the name of the coffee shop where the murders that sparked the investigation took place. Your second picture featured cosmetic surgery. A key aspect of the plot of LA Confidential is that prostitutes are altered by plastic surgeons to resemble film stars. And finally, we saw an LA police officer. LA Confidential is based around the Los Angeles Police Department and the corruption therein. You get 1 point. Well done. LA Confidential star Kim Basinger once said, unfortunately, it is true that the further up the ladder you go, the more flesh you have to show, which is absolute nonsense. Take my tip. Next time you decorate, wear dungarees. LA Confidential is based on the novel by US crime writer James Elroy, a pioneer of the so-called telegraphic prose style, whereby he frequently omits connecting words and uses only short, staccato sentences. Not read him, have no opinion, heard he's no good, no joke here, just move on. So, Sue and Robin, over to you, and here is your first picture clue.
Oh, I'm glad she's opened the window there, because otherwise that wouldn't have any light in it, that half a caravan.
Really rubbish caravan.
Did you not notice that just the side doesn't seem to be there?
Well, despite living there, Margaret Beckett claimed it as her second home.
You think she can't put the expenses into the wall now because the story's broken?
You need a character who has a dalliance with the caravan, basically.
Dalliance with a caravan?
A dalliance with a caravan. Somebody who's fond of a caravan.
Who likes a caravan?
Well, there's Wind in the Willows. You've got Toad lives in a... he disguised himself as a gypsy for a while, doesn't he? Oh, sorry, that's not a politically correct Native American. No, that's wrong.
Inuit?
I can't remember who it is.
You're heading in the right direction. Can I show you your second picture, please?
Yes.
It is... what is it? It's a
Washing day.
It's a
But
washer
that is also
woman.
what Toad of Toad
it
Hall
Mrs.
dresses
Tiggy
as.
It is Toad of Toad Hall. Absolutely right.
I channeled it by mistake. I really thought I was way off. I'm so sorry, that round could have taken much longer.
No, darling, listen, I have things to do, it's fine. Can I just show you the third picture, which I think is a bit of a clue there?
Oh, I
Okay. Did a toad in the hole? Did you get that anywhere now? Does anybody say, oh, do you care for some toad in the hole?
No, I think what happened was that around 1985 they realised it was disgusting.
see. But if you use free-range toads, it's actually quite
It's
nice.
quite pleasant.
Corn toads are delicious. Oh. Corn toads or tofu frogs, it's hard to decide which one I prefer.
Do you know, nothing irritates me more than vegetarians who eat meat replacement things. Would you like some corn shaped like a lamb chop? No, I would like a bit of bleeding sheep.
But it's not about the geometry of the meat that's made them vegetarian,
No,
you see.
surely.
It's the slaughter element that came into it, I think.
So why must it be shaped in some pleasing meat-like manner?
Well, I've never had the lamb cutlet version. I'm very excited by that.
Are you a vegetarian?
Yes, he is.
Could
Maybe.
you get this man off the programme immediately? It's no wonder you
You've
look so
not
pale.
lived. You've not
You're
lived.
surrounded, Toksvig.
Oh no!
There's two of us. Have you ever had veal replacement? I'd like veal replacement. Corn that had just been kept in a small, dark shed.
Fed mush.
Buttery corn. Before we get letters from vegans, and it'll be the last thing they do is they painstakingly try and write a letter.
I am sick of this idea that vegetarians are somehow weaker than the...
Go on then, I dare you. See how long you can keep it up. See if you can stay there.
You made me laugh. You ruined it by making me laugh.
He just wanted to show off his hair, brother.
I wrote a book called Toad in the Hole. Full title was Toad in the Hole, A Treasury of Kickboxing Accidents.
And you see, if you ate meat, you'd be that funny. Now, Toad of Toad Hall features the song A Walloping We Will Go, which has recently been revived by the Metropolitan Police. Right, our next round is Love It or Loathe It, in which our guests choose something or someone from the world of the arts that either delights them or repulses them. They must claim that they both love it and loathe it in turn. The opposing team must then decide which of the opposite opinions represents the truth. So, Dave, you are up first. What is your chosen work?
My chosen work is the book, not the film, the book. The Damned United.
Which is what, darling? I don't know.
It's by David Peace. It is about the 44 days that Brian Clough was manager of Leeds United.
And are you going to love or loathe it to begin with?
I will begin by loathing it.
OK, your 1 minute starts now.
I first became aware of this book when lots of my friends, everyone, and lots of the media were recommending it so wholeheartedly. It was one of those you-must-read books, and somehow it escaped me. And then I was aware they'd made a film of the book, starring Michael Sheen, and I saw the posters for the film, and the film had these quotes, all the witty one-liners of Brian Clough, or I wouldn't say I was the best manager in the world, but I would say I'm in the top one, etc. And I thought, that's the book I should read that everyone was going on about. I should do the good thing and read it before I see the film. And so I picked it up and read it, expecting a jolly book about Brian Clough, full of all those witty one-liners, as the posters had led me to believe. Instead, it's a book that concerns just 44 days, which is a terrible conceit for a novel, and it is the most repetitive book in the world. Every third page, he's going under the stand and through the doors and down the corridor and past Sid Owen and past Maurice Lindley, but it's all the same thing. It's everything is exactly the same. So-and-so's injured and so-and-so's hurt, and they're bastards. They're all bastards. They're all out to get me, the bastards. They're out to get me, the bastards. Whole pages like that.
Okay,
what the hell is it about?
I can't take any more.
How do you think I feel? I read it.
This is a disaster for me because I know nothing about football, and I know that's the only time I know
Extra
about football
point
is...
to Robin there.
I do that one thing when I have to go to the barbers, I read the sports page briefly, so when I sit in the chair I can go, it's been a terrible season for West Bromwich Albion, hasn't it? And thus he begins, and then the haircut is over, and it's fine. He doesn't realise I'm not a man.
OK, Dave, it's time for you to love The Damned United.
I loved this book. I still haven't seen the film, but I loved the book. It is the repetition, which is there, is hypnotic, and it is a dark portrait of a twisted man who's basically going mad. It is sort of Shakespearean in its theme. This man slowly unwinding himself as he goes down that corridor and past these people who he hates and they hate him. And the fact that he repeats all this starts to make you believe that he's genuinely unwinding himself. And to just sort of casually throw it away once wouldn't give you an ounce of the true passion that the man had as he spirals out of control. And when he looks back at his past and relives his glories and feels the whole world is against him, it's a miniature portrait of 44 days of absolute paranoia and the beginning of the unravelling of a man that most of us grew to love.
Well, quick question about his obvious love for The Damned United.
Now, you are from the Midlands, aren't you, originally?
I'm from the West Midlands.
West Midlands. So with that, is Nottingham... No, Nottingham's not West Midlands, is it?
No.
No, that's the one thing that I was wondering.
Is it Nottingham?
You just wanted to know where Nottingham was?
No, I just want to know where he lives.
Sorry, it's kind of a random question in the middle of a quiz show. So where's Nottingham?
You can't criticise someone for asking random questions in the middle of a quiz show, because that's what quiz shows are.
Oh, yeah. Do you know where Burnley is?
Yes. Can I have a point? I'll tell you if you give me a point.
Guys, you have to make up your minds. Which was the more persuasive? Does Dave love or loathe the book The Damned United?
Well, I think when Dave was young, I reckon you would have really liked Brian Clough. That's the one thing that I'm certain of. I think you are a football fan, and I think you like Brian Clough. And I know that the book is quite, compared to the film, it's quite acerbic with Brian Clough, and I know that his family don't like it, and I know that Nottingham is not quite in the West Midlands. Now, when I put all those three facts together, they don't help at all.
No. I know that when you decided that you loathed it, you looked down a lot and then looked very intensely into my eyes.
Oh, body language, body
and
language.
I know a lot about body language, but sadly not enough to inform me whether you're lying or whether you're telling the truth. Therefore, I conclude we're in a bit of a pickle. I shall consult with my venerable team member. Blah, 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 blah.
Should we get our coin?
Don't know, blah,
the
blah,
invisible
blah, blah.
coin.
Heads or tails? Oh, hang on, which was which? Oh, it's a griffin's face. We think he loves it.
You love it! Well done. The book is totally devoted to English football in the 1970s, so as you can imagine, I just couldn't put it down quickly enough. OK, Robin, it's your turn to attempt to confuse Chris and Dave. Honestly, I've worked with them before. It's easily done. What have you decided to love and loathe?
I have chosen the Beatles.
The pop-beat combo.
The pop-beat combo.
And are you going to love or loathe them to begin with?
I'd like to love the Beatles.
You go ahead.
The reason that I love the Beatles is because I love the sound, ooh! It's one of my favourite things. As a man who has an inability to whistle, I found that another way of calling dogs is to sing anything from the early 1960s Beatles catalogue. The main reason I love the Beatles is because they were the first album I ever bought was the Magical Mystery Tour album. It is not a real album, I know official Beatles, but it was not. But it had inside it a fantastic glossy booklet of scenes from the film, which involves, it's the reason I like Ivor Cutler as well. He's a fantastic Scottish poet, and so that's why I just love the Beatles. I even like Ringo Starr songs.
Wow, that's
I know that's a weird
fan.
thing. I actually, as a kid, I loved Octopus's Garden.
OK, Robin, we please have the opposing point of view. Could you now please loathe the Beatles?
I loathe the Beatles because they use that awful sound, woo, in their songs. It's one of my least favourite sounds due to the number of dogs that would arrive at my door. I mainly loathe the Beatles because I used to live in a flat share in my early 20s with a Beatles obsessive who basically gained a Scouse accent. He wasn't from Liverpool, he was originally from Sussex, and he became more and more Liverpudlian, and this is the worst side of it. He was obsessed with conspiracy theories about the Beatles, which meant he would actually play the whole of Sgt Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band backwards in a desperate hope to find more messages, which he generally found messages about broken chairs and cockerels that had been ill. I think that was it. And so that's why I loathe them. I loathe them because I had to face 3 years of my life in a cold, hideous flat share, listening to a man go on and on about the Beatles, going, well, look,